Welcome back for episode 30 of the RADelaide Summit podcast. On this week's episode, we have special guest Fierro Spritz along for some cool cycling stories and to talk us through some bikes in his stable. If you haven't heard, the worlds are on in the gong. We get serious with some cheating going on with the fastest Norton times this week. We highlight some of the upcoming things going on in Adelaide and more. Come along for the ride.
Roadie opens up. Heyman is back. It's time to do the business.
If you're new to the podcast and haven't listened before, each week we scour the Strava leaderboards, watching you do your efforts up Norton Summit and discuss them here on the podcast, whether you like it or not. There's a chance we might shame you. We promise not to name you personally, and the odds are high that we'll probably shame ourselves because we're just not as fast as you.
Nope.
Look, at the end of the day, our goal is to encourage and celebrate everyone going up Adelaide's best hill climb, Norton Summit, and reaching their own goals. Whoop, whoop. So with that, let's introduce ourselves. We are your summiteers, Josh.
Ahoy.
We have Fierro Spritz.
Hey.
And I am Alex. A big welcome, guys, to another episode.
Welcome listeners, and welcome Mr. Fierro Spritz to the podcast.
Thank you very much.
It's our first or second week? Second week without Frankie here.
And we turned 30 today. 30 episodes.
30 episodes
Congratulations.
deep. Yeah.
Well done.
Huge.
Happy to share it without Frankie.
Yeah. She's had her certificate, time off extended.
Oh, the parsley still causing dramas?
Yeah, maybe indefinitely off. I don't know. How far up did it go?
It's a big parsley.
But hopefully it's not causing any dramas and the coffee beans have worked their magic. Anyway, let's get into it. Go and see what's been happening on our bikes in or around the summit this week. Why don't you kick us off, Mr. Fierro Spritz?
Cool.
What have you been up to on the bicycle this week?
First up, thanks for having me, guys, and congratulations again on 30 episodes.
It's huge.
A pretty
It's huge.
Achievement. I mean, if I say this week, can I go back to last Sunday?
You may. Just sneaks in.
Just sneaks in. So the Rockley 105 challenge. I say challenge is inverted commas.
Is that a gravel race?
It's not a race.
But it is. It's like the Booper Challenge is not a race.
People's never a race.
So it's not a race, but there was a new course record set.
Oh, not a race.
This year they had timing chips, and you had to
That's
actually
cool.
go through timing gates.
Yeah, okay.
As you went out and then come back in.
So could you get lantern rogued out if you weren't?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Sag wagon.
It's a race. It's a race.
What did you say?
It was at
Lantern
Monarto,
Rouge.
so you just get eaten by a rhino or
Lantern
something.
Rouge. Lantern
Yeah,
Rogue.
so no, it's a great event because it's a fundraiser for the Rockley CFS. And it's been
Awesome.
so this is the 9th year, and I only know that because they're talking about next year being the 10th anniversary.
Yeah, that's cool.
They might have a 100-mile option.
Oh, so the
Wow.
105 is 105k.
105Ks, yeah. So next year, and it's 99% gravel.
We're getting into like proper gravel race
You're
territory.
getting too
with
excited.
with a 100-mile
Stop
race.
it. Don't get excited. You're not buying a gravel bike.
I don't even ride my actual bike, so
Yeah, I mean, so Matt Bird set a new course record at like 3 hours, 20 minutes or something.
Wow.
that's
on
epic.
gravel.
Smashed 20 minutes off the existing
That's
record.
so cool.
I
As
came
you do.
I came in at 4 hours or something with another group. It was like it's a pretty solid like day out.
And was it for that 4 hours for you? Was that a solid ride as well? Like you
Yeah,
weren't
solid
mucking around
ride.
because I
We
saw
stopped-
your bunch and that looked pretty.
Yeah, solid bunch. We
yeah.
stopped briefly at the CFS because there's like lollies and chips and stuff.
Yeah,
so we
yeah.
might as well
Ooh,
stop in
lollies.
there. Yeah, that's
So
right.
that's where you lost your 40 minutes. So
So you might as well stop in there and grab some stuff. But no, it's a really good event because it's a fundraiser. So
epic.
yeah, and then you get back to the Monarto Sporting Complex and you get a burger and a beer and everything. Sits
Epic.
around.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Alex is in. You're buying a gravel bike.
So that was last Sunday. The rest of the week has really just been commuting for me on my
Just like everywhere.
like commuting. Like that. So I've actually just organised selling my car to my sister, admittedly, but just organised selling my car. So
Epic.
I'm pretty much down to just riding the
don't
Man and his bike.
Don't need
beast
them.
everywhere.
A bike. He's got a bike for every occasion as well.
For the listeners, it's 6:30, and Fierro said he's been on his bike since 10 a.m.
Well, yeah, because so today, like I said, this week was commuting, and then today I dropped
Just
my
got
son.
bored, went for a ride.
No, it's like I dropped my son out at Hundorf and then came back in via the SNFL Grand Final. Go the legs.
It's so good.
Just
That's
that
why I
last
love
sentence.
Fierro.
Break that sentence down. I dropped my son off at Harndorf.
Yeah.
Not in the car.
No, and not on like
Not
just
on
a road
7
bike.
kilo road bike.
Yeah.
70 kilos.
On a big dummy, which is epic.
Big dummy. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I went up the summit to get there.
Oh,
So I went up via and I looked at my time.
we might talk about that a little bit later, I reckon.
Let's talk about that a
The
little bit
slowest
later.
time of the day. I did catch up during the week with some of the finishes of race from the rocks, I guess you call it. So that's if anyone's not aware, this year's event of Race to the Rock, normally it goes to Uluru. This year's was Sydney to Adelaide, mostly off-road. Takes the very fastest people. This year it was 9 days, and the last person finished today at 14 days.
That's pretty epic.
Bit over 2,000 kilometres.
Yeah, 9 days, 2,000 Ks
Off-road.
on off-road.
And terrible conditions.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Would have been
horrendous.
woeful.
So cold.
It originally was planned for April, sort of meant to be planned for April this year. And that was when I was thinking, oh, I'll get it. And I was like,
Because you've done it before?
So I was
or?
working towards April to do it. And then it got delayed. I already had leave booked and everything. So I just went out there and did it. The route was
That's
the route
right.
Was
Here I go.
Yeah, you just did it.
So I rode it, and I tried to, and I got there was mechanicals, and there was storms, and there was detours, and everything. And so
then you got to lift back though from Borough because you've
Angus for a wedding or
you've
something?
already done
So I
the
rode
Mawson Trail 100
I
times.
rode about 1,800 Ks,
Yeah.
something in.
You did it.
It was a hectic week, and it was pretty. But this crew that I caught up with were the people that so maybe it was the second place. So Sasha, not Aaron, but a few other finishers. Just to catch up with just their experience, and it's absolutely brutal. It's absolutely like a war of attrition. Just like Sasha, the lady that finished, she just rode something like 23 hours a day on end.
Oh my goodness!
You had the guy who was leading, so Stephen Lane, who's a Masters time trial champion.
Victoria, something like that. Yeah, he's fit.
He's a coach and whatnot. So he would ride fast and then sleep for 5-6 hours each night. And
but did I see he even pulled out as
in
well?
the end, it got to him. Yeah, the whole thing got to him, and he just he noped out.
It's almost like it's more a mental game than it is the physical stuff for a lot of these people.
The very general thing they say is that it's 1/3 of your physical preparation, 1/3 your mental preparation, and the other third is just what the gear and all of that
Everything
other stuff that
happening.
you can get together.
Yeah.
So physical strength, mental strength, and then preparation. How you plan, you research the route, you research you get the right. If you've got the right jacket that keeps you warm and dry, it
can be a
makes
point
big
of difference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or the right shoes or socks or saddle, all those kind of things, all of that other preparation. So all those things come together. So these guys are pretty epic. So I caught up with a few of them this week.
Yeah.
What else am I up to? I did order a new bike this week.
New bike day
It's
coming
going to
up.
be it's not an N plus. It's a frame. I just ordered
N
a frame
plus
set.
91, did you say?
I just ordered a frame set, so I've just got to dismantle the old gravel bike and bring over. I've got a bunch of.
Wait, which gravel bike? You've got a few.
The green one.
Yes, the Norco.
The steel one.
green
So
machine?
that's going to go from steel.
All your gravel bikes are Norco bikes.
It's
pretty
going to
much,
be
aren't they?
it's going to go from steel to titanium.
Ooh.
Can I give you a bit of a hint?
You can.
What the does that ring?
Oh, special order. Wow.
So
I like
it's
it.
a brand,
Yes.
I don't think there's
We'll leave you to unveil that
I'll be-
yourself.
yeah,
but
so,
I'm excited to see that. That's
Yeah,
epic. Yeah,
it'd be pretty cool.
Awesome.
So I'll have to be one of the first to have that particular model of it.
Wicked. Cool.
And it's taking a chunk out of my.
Exclusive.
Bank balance. As is all
That's
bikes
fair.
at the moment.
Yeah.
But this is so the titanium
That's
frame set,
exciting.
the fork and a TI seat post as well. So it's a
Awesome.
chunk.
Wicked.
Amazing.
Well, that's enough bikes. I don't have anything to add to that. That's enough bikes for all of us here this week, really.
Jeez.
Alex, what have you been up to?
Speaking of prices of bikes, I got that limited edition Cannondale price.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the
The
Lockheed Martin one?
Lickback or whatever it's called anyway.
Yeah,
I wanted
what?
like 23 grand or something.
Just sell the GTR.
Do you remember when the Specialized McLaren came out and you were just like, oh, that's so
Anything-
expensive.
yeah.
Who ever...
I think I saved that much for my first house deposit.
Just made my titanium bike look cheap.
Oh, my
No, but I'm not
goodness.
buying it because they're only on 58. But anyway,
That's in my size. So you
Doesn't
put...
come in a 58 or what?
I don't ride a 58.
I do.
I'm way too short for that.
Yeah.
They've only got one in SA. So.
Oh, wow.
Oof, anywho.
Man.
Last Monday, I did the Norton Monty loop again.
Oh, good.
On the S-Works.
Good loop.
Bossed down the descent again, like 15 seconds slower than the pros. Something must be working on the S-Works finally.
Really? Maybe it's the weight of the S-Works.
I don't know. It's the 30s.
Yeah, it might be the 30s.
Yes, 30s. I'm rocking 32s on my.
You're
Roadie.
rocking like, what's on this one?
Wow.
Like
This is not
70 something.
We're
We're talking inches.
On my Roadie, it's 32s, and it's so much grip.
I love
isn't
it. It's
Yeah.
a lot. Tuesday at the gym, really good. Wednesday, Echelon.
Are you lifting weights at the
session.
gym?
I am lifting weights.
Yeah, big ones?
Not big ones.
Heavy
No.
ones.
Look at me. I'm a giant.
Yeah. But
Wednesday echelon, I think I sent you
Echelon looked
out.
brutal.
Oh my god.
Some
That
good
was a
sprints there.
MP of like 3:05 for the
Yeah,
45
yeah.
minutes. It was like a crit race.
yeah, that's brutal. But I think the
It's such
results are
efficient
showing.
yeah.
Yeah, super efficient training.
Had Thursday, Friday off, which I think let me down because I tried an erg on Saturday and was like
Too much time
so bad.
Even you should have just had like recovery rides in there,
Yeah,
like at 50% FTP.
And then today, found a gap in the rain. Went with my brother Norton out to Lobethal. And we
Looked
got to Lobethal.
cold.
It was cold.
Yeah, it looked cold.
I said to my bro, I was like, let's just go that little bit further to Gumaraka, then we'll come across. We're not going straight through Cully
We've had a
Creek.
headwind come back home?
Yes.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Turn onto that road to Gumaraka.
Yeah.
2Ks.
Oh,
And we literally
no.
like rode into the set of the new Top Gun. These magpies were like fucking boom, and they hit my brother so hard.
no.
He was like, "It's got me! It's got me!" And he goes sprinting up the road. And they came after me, and I was like, "This thing was brutal."
Were you coming down Gorge Road from Gumaraka?
We went from Lobethal
Or
just
Cuddly
past
Creek.
the Cuddly Creek Road to Kenton Valley, I think it's
Oh,
called.
Kenton
and
Valley
then
Road,
over to
yeah.
Gumaraka.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's my neck of the woods. Like that's,
Oh, I was like, "Holy
I
shit!"
think I've seen more magpies just roaming around
Yeah.
than
I
ever.
saw
I think
a dog
it's,
getting swept into the park.
oh, no.
So
The
like,
dog was loving it.
I
Frankie,
think
Frankie had the yellow magpie and the red magpie. This
don't
thing
know.
was like black. Like it was just
that's a crow.
yeah.
But I think this season's going to be hectic for magpies. So
They
yeah,
did their best. They did a
get
great
your
job.
what are those things called? Cable
I
ties
got
out.
a stick.
Yeah, you got
I
a
got a
stick.
stick.
How
Just
did you
held
get a
it
stick?
behind me.
Yeah, cable ties out for the magpies this year.
I saw a
reckon,
friend
so.
of ours in the city the other day, and he was full in commuter spec mode, and he had the zip ties.
Oh,
and
But
everything
no.
going
they're
on.
so good at coming underneath the helmet, like
Yeah.
the ears, and my brother unfortunately has a little bit of a neck roll.
Yeah.
And he goes, "It got it! It got my neck roll!"
I think I even saw Vegan Greens got hit by a magpie this week. Drew blood.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah.
Poor
yeah.
thing.
Should
Yeah,
go to
around
the
all
hospital
the,
immediately.
all of the earrings.
All the piercings.
Oh,
so
that was a fucking giveaway,
yeah.
wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
For anyone that didn't know. Anyway, so Joshy, nothing to report.
Lo-
Come on.
I bought a bike rack
Yes, this is good.
for the bikes I don't
What
ride.
do you mean? What kind of bike rack? Like one hanging on the wall?
It attaches to the roof racks of your car.
Okay.
So I bought it from a friend.
Is that so you can take all your bikes to Kennard's storage for long-term
Yeah, long-term storage. Yeah. No, we're planning to go to.
Boat storage and stuff.
bike storage?
No, we're going on a family holiday in October in the school holidays, and I'm going to take the bike
too.
with me to Halls Gap. So roll around the
That's what I was trying to
Grampians.
think of before
So-
we had the echo in the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm only going as far as KI.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing. So I need. I've only got a 3. One of the is it Thule?
Thule?
However you pronounce it. I've got one of those, but only a 3 bike rack. We're a family of 4, so I needed to buy
So
another
you're gonna
rack.
make
So I've got
yours
one
at
for the
home.
roof
I
now.
know how you feel.
I can't ride to Halls Gap like Fiero would, so I probably should though. That would be a nice ride. But that's about it. That's about as much bike as I've had this week.
That's right. It's a start.
I actually haven't been doing anything since my run-in with running injuries. I've just been taking it easy.
You didn't do the city to surf, city to bay?
City
What
to
are they
bay.
called?
Don't even know what that is, but I would
Run
not be
down
caught
Anzac
dead.
Highway.
Block off the road.
A few of our
Annoy
friends
everyone.
did. Silly idea. Silly idea. So anyway, that's enough about me.
All right.
What else has been happening?
Well, as you may or may not have known, the Worlds are on.
The world's what?
The World Cycling Championships.
The World Cycling Championships in
Wollongong.
Wollongong. I thought they were in November. Turns out they're on right now.
They're on currently. So we had the TT today. I
Yeah,
believe.
individual time trials.
Does anyone know who won that?
I've got it on it wasn't Stefan Kung, it was
It was a name that you can make a pun out of.
Oh.
Foss. What's all the Foss about? I
There you go.
Good thinking.
don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
No?
Who's that?
I don't know.
Foss.
Never heard of him.
I don't know.
But
I don't know, but apparently Stefan Kung came second, so and Luke Plapp did really, really well as well. So which is really good seeing as he's just come off a Grand Tour as well. And
Is
local
he
Australian
racing the
there as
road
well.
race, the elite road race?
I've got a link. I'm not prepared.
No,
Sorry.
that's okay. Anyway, so the road race,
Which looks pretty epic.
270 Ks, just shy of 270 Ks.
Yeah.
In the first 40 Ks is like a 7.5K climb at 5.7%, so 1.5 Nortons.
Whew.
Yeah, and then 10 laps with the climb of Mount Pleasant every single lap, 1.1 Ks at average 8.6.
Holy moly.
And I think there's pinches in there like up to 15%.
Shivers.
So like this is...
It doesn't sound as brutal as previous Worlds courses. Like the Harrogate course was mental. But yeah, it's going to be epic.
So like Pogacar's in there.
Is Pog down, is
Yeah.
he? So is Vanderpool. He's in.
Sagan, I think, is in there.
The
And his
Sagans
brother?
and his brother.
And his brother.
Peter. And his brother Peter. But no, racing for the Australians, we've got Michael Matthews, Ben O'Connor, Luke Platt, Nick Schultz.
Oh, there we go.
Jai Hindley, Heinrich Hauser, Luke Durbo, and Simon Clark.
Turbo.
Not a bad team. I wonder who they're going to try and protect and look after. Surely it's
No,
Jai.
it's the
and-
Worlds, mate. Everyone for
Yeah,
themselves.
that's what I was saying. Do they run? Are they
Yeah.
working as a team? or are
Surely
they-
there's some structure in there. Like Michael Matthews was in pretty good form in the
Yeah.
tour. But then you got Luke Platt who can actually stick if he wants to go for a break and get in there. I don't know.
last climb maybe.
Yeah, there's a few in there.
I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it because like 270 Ks like starts to push the boundaries of even like a pro race.
Yeah.
Like it's going to get over the hump of 5-ish
It's a long
hours
day.
and be like,
Yeah.
They won't be going easy for the whole
No.
for the first 4, and then
No, yeah. Yeah, some very, very cool riders racing this one as well.
looking
So
forward to it. And we can't even get like free view. You've got to do it like on Stan or something silly.
I think Tobias Foss from Norway might have won the ITT. I don't even know who that is. So
Still researching.
but that could just be a rumor. Could not be
We've
true
let that
either.
go,
So.
Josh. Anyway, speaking of like crazy cycling adventures, Mr. Fierro, you've done some wild stuff.
Yes, I mean I guess I'll leave it to you guys, like what you think is most interesting, because I kind of consider myself like a jack of all trades, master of none when it comes to cycling. But
It says here you rode to Europe in 2016.
well, yeah, like I've done like what Frankie's friend
Yeats McDaddy.
Yeats
Yeah.
McDaddy. So I did something similar to Yeats McDaddy in like the before times, 2016, and then I moved to Adelaide. I met Josh around that time.
We
Some
met through commuting.
Strava leaderboard challenges.
We'd pass each
We'd
other.
pass each
And
other.
then like you were like one of the first people to do like the overnight shift on my first Everesting.
I came out there back in the
They told me
day.
your life story over a few laps.
It was
But,
awesome.
That's how you do it. Take
yeah,
your mind
so
off
I've done
of
a
the
few,
pain.
few Everestings.
What time was I out there? Like 4 o'clock or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that? It's pretty early, yeah.
Well, I don't know what they call it anymore. It used to be a 10K. It used to be a HRS.
HRS, yeah.
What do they call
Is
it?
it changed
Rome?
now? I
A
don't
Rome
know.
or something like that. 10K thing. It was like
We're
10,000.
purists here, so we'll just
So
go
that
HRS.
was-
Journey.
Journey?
400 Ks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was it. That was it. It's called
Journey,
Journey.
yeah.
So it's 400
Yeah.
Ks over 36 hours
Yeah.
with 10,000 meters. So I made this route was every climb across the Western Lofty Ranges, about 32 climbs from Hallett Cove all the way to One Tree Hill over the course of a weekend.
Yep.
A couple of hours sleep in there.
Yeah.
Hit 40 degrees.
remember
It was
that one.
in February, so it was hot.
as
40
hell.
degrees both days. I passed out at a bus stop at some point, and people were like poking me, going, "You're all right."
You're right. I'm fine.
I'm fine, yeah,
Just gonna ride my
back on the
bike some
bike.
more.
Yeah.
So I've done a bit of Audax stuff. So I've got a few Audax
Got a record,
records.
yeah.
I do
It's
like
really
the
cool.
24-hour, 300 and 600, I think.
Yeah.
Audax
How
records.
far did you go? You went,
So 24 hours.
There's 4 of you.
5 of us, a team.
yeah.
500 and I want to say 46
Is that
kilometres in 24
People
hours.
from Adelaide?
Yeah, so this is a South Australian record.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because
I remember
SA's
seeing
a little
that,
bit
yeah.
tough because you've kind of got to go over the range. Like you start in the city and finish in the city, or
And you
gotta-
guys went out like the flat way, like Murray Bridge,
Coorong,
that
yeah.
Coorong that way. So it's
Tintinara.
fairly flat
Yeah.
for how
Yeah, I
flat
remember
you
looking
could
at
get
that.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
We were actually finished in more like 21, 22 hours, but we were just done. Yeah. We had this idea in the back of our head. Well, if we're finished early enough, we'll just do a beach loop.
Yeah, no way.
Let's just sleep in Hungry Jack's. So what else? So I've done most of the trails around, like the Mawson, the Kidman, the Lavender a few times over.
Yeah.
The Tassie Trail earlier this year with my girlfriend, which was fun. So we found that like Tassie Trail is cool because it's a really like remote, long climbs, and they're like 20 Ks.
Good stitch ups, something you're a fan of.
Yeah, these stitch up. You're in the central plateau, like highlands of Tassie, where you can think like you can see the 4-wheel drives have gone through there, and you're
Yeah.
like, how did they get these?
How do you even get
I'm
here?
pushing my bike, or
See him, like, down the
dragging
cliff
my bike.
somewhere.
What's her name? What, is it One Flute Shot? I think that's her
Yeah.
Instagram handle. She lives in Tasmania,
Yes.
I think, and so
Yeah.
she
For
often
her-
rides.
For her, the Tassie Trail is nothing. Like
But-
she's going way off route.
But her things are amazing. She'll just be rolling through some random off fire road in the middle of nowhere, car.
Yeah,
It's like, how did this get there?
burners?
Yeah.
New E is good for burners too.
New-
This is burners out the back of New E.
So good.
So yeah, and then like as you said earlier, like so the Race to the Rock stuff. I did the 2020 entree as far as Blinman.
Yes,
so
that's
that
right.
was the first day.
Blinman.
The first day was real rough. They called it the amuse bouche. So that was like the first day from Normanville to the top of the summit.
Yes.
Top of Northern Summit.
Yeah.
180 or so kilometres with 5,000 vertical metres of like mountain bike parks, fully loaded on a gravel bike.
That's brutal.
And it was brutal as an introduction. And then you've got to do the Mawson. It took me like 3 days to do the Mawson. I just rocked up in Blinman like completely blurry-eyed.
Yeah.
I caught up to the
Wait, it
leader.
took you 3 days to do the Mawson.
Yeah, just like
Wow.
riding through the night, a couple of hours sleep here and there. And I caught up to the leader as he left Blinman, and there's a photo of us hanging out at the public toilet in Blinman. Because we basically
As you do.
You sleep in the disabled toilets because they're pretty luxury by comparison. And the two of us just there, adamant.
Wow.
So that was 2020, and then as I said earlier this year, I tried the this year's route. I also did a bit of like the Indie Pack route in my own time, like the Melbourne to Sydney leg of it, and I kind of just did it at race pace, like to try and see like, okay, I plan out from I can do this town to this town in a day, about 350 a day, and in those on that route, it's like 5,000 k's, 5,000 vertical meters a day, because you go to the Melbourne, the Victorian Alpine region, then the New South Wales Alpine region, which gets pretty remote. There's a big section of the Kosciuszko where there's
not much.
Nothing.
There.
You've got you're just filling up your bidons from
the streams off the mountain. Wow.
Yeah,
were you filtering the water, or is it because it filtered it? Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
I don't know. Us city kids, we don't know much.
I don't know. That's the kind of stuff that I get into. So trending, definitely towards like bikepacking stuff. And then obviously the new bike definitely heads in that direction.
Yeah. But you're a man of consistency. There's not much that holds you back from getting out on the bike. Rain, hail, shine, storm,
just
cyclone.
You're
just prepared.
Waterproof socks, nice rain, Gore-Tex
and
jacket,
safety
whatever.
pizza on the back of your bike.
Always
the safety pizza. But no, I think is a huge attribute of why you're so good at your craft. Is you're a jack of all trades because you're so consistent.
I think you claimed it perfectly a couple of weeks ago. You said rad dad.
That's what I was going to say. Thank you for the shout out.
Yeah. No, you're a rad dad because you're
just gets out amongst
you get out there no matter what the condition. Where myself at the moment. The slightest bit of rain, could just be the drip from my shower. It's too wet. It's too wet. It's raining. I'm out. Yeah.
In my head, it's been a slow winter. Like I haven't had as many people to ride with. I haven't been riding solo as much. But it's like, okay, yes, it's going to get a bit warmer, so I'm going to kind of get back into it. But I will say, like in my other sort of the free time, there's some Facebook groups that I admin.
Yep.
Because everyone loves to get on Facebook and either sell their bikes.
Yeah, you've been a big contributor to, I think, Adelaide's maybe best cycling Facebook group. Adelaide Cycling.
Biggest.
Yeah, and
Adelaide
biggest.
Cycling.
Really curbed that into bringing it from like a splash of everything. Like, I'm selling this. I hate this thing going on with Adelaide City Council in a bike lane, to really just making it purely about things in Adelaide.
Discussion,
not sales, not random stuff.
Because with our, I don't know how much to lecture the admins of the Adelaide Bicycle Buy and Sell. So I've now joined them and worked out what's here, what's there, to kind of separate them. Have a separation of church and state.
Yeah, and you didn't just. Stuff. You didn't just rule the iron fist on that. You took it to vote with the community as well. You said, you did a great job.
The new group is Adelaide Cargo Bikes. Couple of hundred members.
Yep.
It's actually a pretty active group.
Wow, I didn't think there'd be that many cargo bike owners.
You are getting too excited.
And maybe aspiring owners. I'll be on one.
Get on a cargo bike. There's Dutch bikes. There's like things like big dummies. But a cargo bike can be anything that you can strap your junk to, right? If you've got panniers or racks or whatever. It doesn't have to be a person in the front or back.
Yeah.
It can just be about carrying your shopping.
Yeah.
I just remember go back to 2016, going to I spent a lot of time hanging out the front of supermarkets when I'd go out and buy my food for the day.
Badging cars.
And I just sit just sticking RADelaide somewhere.
Yeah.
But no, I'd buy all my stuff for the day and just sit in the car park and chow down on snacks and stuff and watch people come and go. How many people in Europe come and go on a bike?
Yes.
Yeah. And they walk out of the front door with bags and bags of groceries, and I'm thinking, how are they going to get that on their bike? And they do. Sometimes it's a family of 5 or 6 rock up on each one of their bikes, and they all have panniers and they all have racks, and then they just distribute it all amongst themselves, and off they go. I don't know how far they're going.
We've got a bit of a thing here, I think, in maybe Australian culture where it's not cool to have a pannier rack on your bike. Like,
My brother won't even ride with his saddlebag.
Yeah.
He's like, my bike doesn't look
too
good. I was
cool.
like, yeah,
Not-
but you don't have to
not
carry
aero
the tube.
enough.
Do you carry the tube there?
When I am going on a long ride, I'll put a saddlebag on.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Oh, yeah.
We rode our
gravel
road
and stuff
bikes
have-
for 4 days during the Indie Pack with massive saddlebags.
My gravel bikes have like permanent handlebar bags and frame bags. And
I
like
love a
4
Scroggin
crowns.
bag.
Good old Scroggin bag. But no,
Yeah.
I think the rebirth of the utility bike
Yeah.
might be happening, given how just the way petrol prices are going
out of
and
control.
people just looking for alternative methods to be healthier.
Hashtag don't buy a Tesla.
Yeah, don't buy Tesla. But even then, the price of electricity's gone up.
Yeah.
So
But so the only other one thing I might add, it's a bit of a shameless plug, is we're getting to that time of year. We're getting some info coming out about the
feel
TDU.
the rush.
The TDU.
Feel the rush.
Absolutely. So it started back in maybe 2017 when
I
it was
remember
kind of
this,
a bit of
yes.
I was trying to get together all of the events that were happening during the TDU, like outside of the official stuff. So you can go to the TDU website and see what the stages are and what the events are, like the family ride and whatever they're putting on in the village and Vic Square and stuff. But outside of that, this huge ecosystem of third party.
But often the
events.
main sponsors, so your main bike brands aren't affiliated with the actual race as a sponsor. So they're not on the Santos Tour Down Under
They have been
website.
a little
whatever it
bit
is.
better in recent years. In like 2020 especially, like that was the last big TDU. They were actually pretty good. The organisers, SA Tourism and whatnot, were pretty good in actually engaging those third-party brands. But typically they've been pretty poor. So you have this disconnect between the official stuff and all the unofficial stuff. So what I did is I had this spreadsheet that was just everything.
I love a good spreadsheet.
And then it became a website.
Do you need a new job? We've got an opening.
It's a very basic website, but that's fine because all you want to
all
do
you
is
need.
look, or you want to look at a table and you can go,
Yeah.
okay, today is the Tuesday, or you got the rest day, whatever the men's stages are, the women's stages. It's really great that now we have equal like billing between men's and women's.
Yeah.
And so I have this website, allthetdu.com.
All one word. Yep.
Yep, allthetdu.com, and you go there. It's just the stages, the events, the rides, the signings, the concerts,
All the little offshoot events, even the stuff, as long as you know about it, that doesn't exist on the official run
that
sheets,
incorporates, like-
or the little movie screenings that are happening, the little
custom
like,
bike building down the
the little
and stuff
laneway
like that.
things, the pub catch-ups.
In my sort of experience, it's maybe a quarter to a third of the events are official.
Yep.
And the rest is just brands that are coming to town.
Yeah.
Whether it's Rafa, Specialized, Black Sheep, Curve.
Even the local shops that are doing stuff as well.
Cycle
So
Closet do a fair bit with a few of their
Yeah.
brands.
Yeah, because you get
The-
some of those
the
skew
builders-
things off in the back streets. Like Map had their bloody little pop-up
Map
store.
stuff is really good. And, they do,
Yeah.
and the good thing is you knew where to go to get the free beer.
Yeah.
Rafa would give away beer. Rafa would charge for it.
That's all we need to know.
The Maker Festival,
Yes.
from being a third party thing, and then it became sort of very official. So all those events, Norwood doing
so all the local racing
Crits,
as well.
Put all the local
all
racing
that on there as well. So.
Even the guys that run the Rockley also run some events down Murray Bridgeway during the TDU.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
there's so much
We
stuff
could
going
ride
on
there.
that week. So I
Could
feel
ride. We've ridden there once
I
before.
feel like that week it like they talk. It's been the festival of cycling for the last couple of years, but it really is such a big week that maybe some people aren't quite aware of how many events are actually going on. So I put it all on a website.
You've centralised it all.
Yeah, and it's actually like it kind of blew me away. I think it was 2020 where it had I might have had 10,000 hits in the week.
Nice.
Yeah, it was
And
awesome.
so I sold out, and I was like, okay, who wants to put a brand on there? So I think the sunnies that I was wearing today might have actually come from like the brand that put there. So I've had a few different brands.
But
over
that's
the years.
that's fair. It's not. It is a bit of work on your behalf. One, you've got to register the website and look after it, and maintain it. But then you've got to collate all the information.
there's
You're getting
it's
people.
like a few minutes. It's a few minutes every in the weeks leading up to the TDU.
Yeah.
It's a few minutes every day of just like checking the Facebook groups. I get emails. I've been in touch with like the RCC organizer, all the other brand ambassadors and stuff.
Just a
I've
few
got bit
reaching
of
out, being
relationships
proactive.
going.
So I think that's fair enough.
So I try to sell that as much as I can.
Maybe we can get some RADelaide Summit podcast banner on the top this year or something like that.
Definitely.
We'll have to talk to the
and I'll be driving around
admin.
in the GTR.
So that's all the TDU, all one word.com.
so that's me, basically. That's how
Fiero.
I fit into this. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got an interesting, what do you call stable of bikes. What's your current favourite bike that is made, not just ordered?
So my Roadie it's been very like it's surprisingly little use since I built it up, but I bought a barely used frame set, like the top of the line TCR SL, in a kind of slightly interesting colorway, like the red and blue.
So like a red to blue fade
type thing.
Yeah.
Put my pretty custom curve wheels on there. I don't think there's many people. There's only a handful of people in Australia who would have DT 180.
You got DT 180 hubs
because I imported those myself.
Yeah,
and got them built up locally. And then just things like putting a RX, like a gravel derailleur on it, and the gearing
no chain slap for you,
like the gearing on it, and putting 32s on it because 32s are
give you all the grip in the world.
There's a former pro that rides around here, the Japanese guy who runs the GC in Japan.
Yeah.
And I've run into him occasionally. And I reckon when I was in the process of building up the TCR, I was riding around one of my gravel bikes with road wheels on. For a little while, and he kind of joked. He's like, no, man, that's a gravel. He's like, that's a gravel bike with road wheels. I'm like, yes, it's just temporary, cool. Yeah. And then later, he saw me on the road bike. I'm like, oh, what do you think? What do you think of the new road bike? He looks at it, he goes,
that's a road bike with gravel bike.
He looked at the cassette, like an 1136. And I had a mullet, or what do you call it, like a mongrel crank set, like chain rings on it, 52, 34. So like outside of the specs.
I used to do that when we were Everesting.
Because I set that up for like doing stuff with like up the back of falls and stuff like that. Because you want that.
Everyone's like, it doesn't work. I'm like, hell yeah, it does. It's just clunky.
And people say to me, what's wrong with your chain rings? Like, it just takes a second. But it's a really nice bike to ride with, like just having all that range of gearing. And I just bought the thing I probably need to do before Thursday's the public holiday. I need to put. I've got some new bars to put on there. I've bought like not gravel but all road. They call them all road. They're not quite gravel flare.
There's
but
enough flare in there.
10
too.
degrees
got the Fiero Campernuts.
10 degrees.
It's more than my 4. So
it's less than it's less than warmers. It's less than my other gravel. So it's 10 degrees flare. So that's all road territory.
Frankie has a 40-degree flare, I think.
So that's what I got to put on that road.
I used to run my giant Propel with zip 303s.
Yep.
And then a 52-30, whatever it was, 4, like the wrong way. Yeah. And then on the back, I had the biggest derailleur, like a 30 or 32-11 on the back. And like, oh shit, used to make all sorts of noise. But I was like, it's happening.
It's happening.
Once it gets in there. I remember going to friend's Everesting on Kintyre, the one right next to Ross Trevor.
Oh, yeah.
And he messed it up so badly, he could only get it into the smallest gear. So he'd go up, turn around, just roll it down.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
hey, it works.
You might not need to do much pedaling down Kintyre anyway. It's pretty steep.
It was just bomb down, turn around.
I think one of my Everest, like, Heatherbank, I rolled every time down there until the very last lap where I was like, I'm done.
Now, do you find that as you're Everesting, you get so like overconfident with the descent that you're just flying down and taking the KOM?
What's the little road into the national park off of Lofty? What's that access road?
Oh, the
Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland Wildlife Park. Yeah.
I went down there so fast, one in the middle of the night on the Everesting, and the ranger pulled out in front of me. And all 3 of us in the line like, whoa! And kangaroos, you're like, I got this.
I think I shared my story. That took me 96 descents of
to get it
mine
right.
to get the camber right, and then from then on in, I was laughing.
And
so.
Chandler's, it was the same for me. Like after I got going on that, I was just like,
poof.
So it was actually my Everesting, but it was one out, like way out north off One Tree Hill, with friends, and I'd gone out there late in the afternoon and I stayed until the late evening, and it had this really straight, super steep descent towards Main North Road, so you could see everything. You didn't,
awesome.
You didn't need
not the Blacktop Road.
Medlow.
Oh, Medlow.
Oh yeah.
I know.
And so because this guy lived out that way, he was doing all of the ones.
He's the king of the north.
Sadly, has retired from cycling. He's now a golfer.
Oh,
what?
I thought he started running for a second there, but golf. Hey, that's all right.
Yeah, but I was getting every time it wasn't actually so much about the time of the descent, but the maximum speed. I was watching every time I go down. Oh, that one was 86, 88, 90 k's an hour doing on the descent. Straight, and I was like,
when I did mine on Heatherbank, they had the speed sign there because they were trying to put a little dog-like thing in there, and it was like 50, and we'd be going down 85, and flashing red like
the sad face.
So you've got the TCR. Any other favourite or notable bike in your stable? You've got the Big Dummy, which is a cargo bike.
Everyone
It's
should have
been
a cargo
everywhere.
bike.
You've done the Mawson on that thing.
Oh yeah, with knobblies. We put
That's
knobblies on it.
epic.
And that was a storm. We got terrible weather for the most of it.
Yeah.
But I rode more of the trail than other people because it's like
You're able to.
can't. You go up the steepest climbs or the steepest ascent. You can't flip it. Like, you can't go over the bars. The front
so
you
long,
can't.
yeah.
So heavy.
So and it's so easy to throw all the stuff in there. And then the
Yeah,
rest
yeah.
of it, just a roadie and a couple of gravel bikes and
Yeah.
the sticker bike and
Yeah.
my old roadie, which is just it's a little bit on the trainer and a little bit
Yep.
it can go on the road if I need to, but that's
Yeah. No,
and
good.
then the new bike
The
was
new
a
bike.
frame set to
Yeah.
transfer over.
Epic.
I just need to order some real chunk tires and
Yes, you
I've
will.
ordered a compatible bottom bracket
A compatible bottom bracket.
Lovely.
because it's T47.
So then you have a 60 tooth and a 28.
It's a 950 cassette on the back.
A 950. 9.
950.
They get-
Rainbow. It's
What
rainbow.
on earth?
They get that low?
They do.
A 9? I
They
thought a
do.
10 was low. A
950.
9? Wow.
The derailleur cage is like 16 inches long.
Yeah.
I think we need another episode with Fiero because we can keep talking.
We're going to bring it in and put it on the table.
Once the bike is ready, we can put it up here and we can go, look at it, it's all shiny. Yeah.
No, I think there's many more stories. We've just scratched the surface, I think, of
Yeah.
what you've done on the bike. So it's
Amazing.
I love hearing about it. But moving on, Alex,
Yes.
you said you went out onto the summit this week
I went out on my bike once.
a couple times. One on your bike, but you actually went out on the summit and did something else interesting this week.
So
what did you get up to?
like all things two-wheeled.
You
and I
do.
got a
You're a bit
request.
of a moto person.
I got a request from the real Chamois, not really the real Chamois, the Wang told the real Chamois we're
he
going.
would.
And I motor paced them up Norton Summit on my scooter. So petrol-powered, proper scooter.
Yep. Because the benefits of that, they get to sit in your slipstream
That was it. It was a very windy day. They had a
and
headwind.
ride to a consistent effort.
Ride to a consistent
Yep.
effort. So it's a 150cc, so we can go fast.
Proper scooter.
The real Chamois was late.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the Wang said, let's just go do a warm-up run. 12:06 behind the
Oh,
scooter.
my
Then we
goodness.
went back down.
Yeah.
Got the real Chamois. 12:09.
Oh
So
my goodness.
Back to back because we dropped the real Chamois about 2/3 of the way up.
Far out.
But
He's done back to back.
Back-to-back
12
12,
minute, like low
almost flat.
12s.
What kind of like
dude, I was
percentage
having
are
a
you
cramp because I was like,
putting- to hold the throttle? So are you putting it like a tiny bit or is it
So it's
actually-
really weird because I don't know how familiar you are with riding motorbikes, but when you come into a corner, sort of back off, set yourself up, and then roll through it.
Yeah, yeah.
But when you're motor pacing someone, because the Wang is very confident, he was only this far from my wheel.
Yeah, and you didn't have a roller or anything
no,
on the
so
back.
I'm just like all around the corner, constantly.
Do you know,
Don't let my feet scrape. Don't let my feet scrape.
when I was in uni, we used to hire 50cc scooters for the weekend.
Oh, they used to
could.
be a thing back in the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And just like slot down $50.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, give me a scooter for the weekend, and
Yeah.
just all those things everywhere.
So, but as we got, so you do the first few zigzags and the longer second drag up to the last left-hand
Yeah,
hairpin.
yeah.
Yep. The Wang's still talking to me. Bit faster, bit
Gets
faster.
dark.
Like 400
Gosh.
plus watts. Yep. All right, ramp it up. I'm like,
Oh my gosh. It's amazing because you see them do it on the track.
Yeah.
For Port Adelaide, they actually motor pace them with
An e-bike,
is it
yeah.
or e-bike something like that.
Or a scooter, or a motorbike. Yeah.
But they got the bump bar, so you can actually hit and
Yeah,
you feel
that's
quite
okay.
safe.
Um,
You're doing this,
this is a
know.
very interesting spirit
That's
to,
all
to
officially.
compare between the pacing of Frankie.
yeah.
When I was like, you need to tell me. You need to tell me if you're going to go faster or slower. These noises.
I'm going too fast.
These noises. I'm like,
1 grunt for faster, 2 grunts for
I
slower.
was like, just tell me, do we need to go slower? And then I'm like, turn around. She's gone. I'm like, what did you tell me that you were falling off?
But after, so because it was a headwind, they both took turns, the Wang and Chamois taking turns
swapping
behind the
turns.
scooter.
Yeah.
And then the real Chamois got dropped. And I knew where, this time being the second run, where the Wang wanted to go faster. Like, he was doing 500 watts behind the scooter at like high 30k an hour up the
Wow.
top to finish off.
That's
Like,
ridiculous.
unbelievable. Like, it was so much fun. And then we just went, they're like, oh, let's just keep going up over Monty and down the other side. And
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I said,
Did you say you motor paced the descent as well?
yes. Yeah. Like, we flew down there. I think they were like first and second.
Wow.
That reminds me. There was a very prolific cyclist in SA a few years ago who basically gave up cycling and joined the army. But he was the state time trial champion. He talked about how he would take his TT bike down Green Hill Road, and he would be smashing comp pace, but he never got a clear run.
Yeah.
So he'd be saying, I'm just averaging 80 k's an hour down Green Hill Road, but he always caught a car until that one. And there was that one time he hit a bump on the parade on his TT bike and Superman into a traffic light.
But he also Everested. I'm
he
glad you brought that
Everested
up.
the Summit.
He Everested Northern Summit
really?
and was pumping out like every now and then, like 14 minute,
Actually,
13 minute
Can I tell a story?
summits. You can. You went out there.
I went out. I reckon I did 5 repeats early in the morning.
Yep.
So maybe from like 3 a.m. onwards or 3 or 4 a.m. onwards, I did 5 repeats, and they were like 17, 18 minutes.
It was consistent.
And
very quick.
then I had to go home. I had to look after my son for the day, and then I reckon I came back in the evening, and he'd been obviously going all day. And he was fundraising for a condition for his friend who was in an accident.
I think so, something like that.
So he had to do 32, 33
I think it's 33,
repeats.
yep.
And he's doing these like occasionally. So someone would say, we'll give you another $500 towards the cause if you do a 12-minute effort.
Oh, in the middle of an effort.
Yeah, in the middle of an effort. And
You
then,
just do it.
And then he got another, same again. So I came back in the evening and did another 5, and then the last one again. Someone said, "We'll give you another $500 towards the cause if you do a threshold effort for the finish." So I got in the car because in the evening he had a car following him for lights, and he did another 12-minute effort to finish.
Epic!
And
Unbelievable.
he's just, not a TT bike. He's just
Yes,
on
Roadie.
what do you have back then?
Pinarello, I think.
Yeah,
Pinarello.
Yeah, and so he just knocked out. And
Incredible.
just knocked out Everesting of
Probably
the
best
summer
Everest of the summer, I reckon. That
with
stands. So.
2 or 3 12-minute efforts just thrown in there.
I remember seeing
and we
them.
finished with burgers, I remember.
Speaking of KOM descending, though, I heard that the descent KOM from Hallett Road on Green Hill to the roundabout, right? And
That's the worst section of
because averaged like 86 k's an hour.
behind a truck or something.
No, just hoping no one's at the roundabout when you get there.
Hoping no one's shooting out of Hallett or any
Just
side
a
street.
public
Right.
disclaimer: don't go out and take that. That's a pro rider that did that.
And the road is smooth
Yeah,
because that
Can
bit
I-
of Hallett's
can I
not
ask you,
smooth.
I've mentioned this to a few people, and I say, do you ever get the red light on that section? Towards about 3/4 down, there's a. And I say, do you ever get the red
the
light?
crossing.
And so many people say, what do you mean?
What red light?
What red light?
It's a kindergarten there or whatever.
They've just
Totally
never even
is.
noticed. They just focus so much on the faster, that they never even notice there's a
And the
pedestrian
bumps
crossing.
in the road and like the two cars that try to squeeze you. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
every
hectic.
time.
There's
every
a few
time.
people who I've seen are in the 80s, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
jeez.
because imagine pulling to that roundabout. You've got to. You're not stopping for the roundabout, are you?
There's a couple of people with giant balls of steel, I think. One of
Just
our
jump up.
friends down Sheoak, the last bit.
Oh yeah.
I think they've touched 100k an hour on that little descent.
So I think
That they-
my best descents are ones where I like the old freeway in Green Hill. Do those pretty fast. I think I got the old freeway maybe top 10 or just outside top 10. There was a few of us that did it as a train all the way down.
Yeah.
And we went
Get on the right
past
morning.
toll gate all the way down, clear run, 3 of us. And I think we got like 10, 11, 12 or something.
That's a
Wow.
good
And it was-
descent, though.
yeah,
Like you
but
can
it was,
motor
again, you
in
don't have to
right
worry about
conditions.
cars. You
Yeah.
have to worry about cars, and you can
Take two
the
lanes.
Koala corner, you can all push together. But I guess the thing there was carrying speed through the corners. It's not about balls out 85.
No.
It was about the Mount Osmond interchange, where you're coming in and there's a little sign that says slow down,
You're like,
and you're
no.
doing 75.
You're not slowing down.
Oh my God, you hear all these crazy noises coming out of your
Yeah,
discs.
yeah.
And you're like, oh my God. And then you cross over and you go again and you're like, please, I hope no one's coming up the Craven's Bikeway at that point.
Because that little pinch point is, I hate it, and I'm like, I don't go fast down there. I hate it, but
I love it. Absolutely.
It's like one of those things you pick your moment. It's a nice clear day. You don't necessarily want to wind either way. You just want to still.
Six
Yeah.
beers under your belt. Here I go.
And if you see anyone coming in the direction, you're like, oh,
it's off.
over.
The temp's off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's over. You can't. If you slow down to let someone else go, you're like, well, I'm not going
Yeah.
to get the best
that's a
time,
good
so
rule.
We'll give up.
Anyway, let's jump right into it. The main reason why we exist, let's see who's been spinning up the summit this week and check out the times for the folks that have been giving us a show. It might be the fast guys, it might be the slow ones, it's going to be everyone in between, but like we said, we'll dive into their rides and data a little bit more robustly and we'll see who has caught my eyes on the leaderboard because bloody Frankie's not holding up our end of the deal.
Can't even do a remote spreadsheet.
No, so I'll pick some hand picks. Anyway, Mr. Fierro, you get the top man and woman this week and the men from the 18-minute bunch, but let's start with a bit of a rundown on your Norton PB, which was earlier this
Tell
year.
us about your
Because
Norton PB.
what just blows my mind is like I've done Everest, I've done bikepacking, I've done all that, and you become this like diesel, and here you go out and wallop Norton Summit after all of this background slow stuff, if you could say.
You're saying like, so today was the slowest time of the day.
No, but your PB.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
your PB
When you were training to
specifically.
do Race
Race
to the Rock?
Yeah.
So that's not like you're not going
No.
balls deep for Race to the Rock.
That
but
was like, it's kind of just doing efforts here and there.
Yeah.
It was like after work, I reckon. It was like 13 and a half or so. 13.
Yeah, I
Doesn't
don't know,
even
but
know.
I reckon you're one of those guys that if you've come off a block of lots of riding, you would generally know that you've got like a 13-minute effort doesn't feel like much for you because you can like gravel riding smashes out the
road
watts
feels
at a hot.
smooth and
Yeah.
it's just consistent
So
pace.
that it's like cutting butter, like it's really smooth. Whereas like riding gravel and training for Race to the Rock is just like chomping, like mashing potato. Like that's what you're doing.
No, so yeah, I guess it's just one of those things you want to mix it up. If
Yeah,
you're training,
But it
and
was
you
like a
wanna-
mid-13 thing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I can't
So you
get
wanna-
through the 14s.
No.
Like, that's it.
You can't.
I'm 15 flat.
Yeah.
I can't even break that.
Because I have fond memories of that day that we left the city and there was a storm coming.
Oh, we flogged at home.
And we were like getting top 10s all at
Yeah.
like Montacute and Stradbroke and good. And we're just flying on.
we have some good commutes
And I'm
home.
like, are you still there, Josh? You're like,
I'm just there, I'm hanging on.
You're wearing a backpack.
Yeah, and then we'd get over a rise and be down. I'm like, I'm back on.
Those are the great days.
Yeah.
the
So
best.
and then we get home and it just buckets down. So,
Missed it.
So when I guess what some people have said that I flicked this switch. So
Yeah.
like when I'm focused, it's like, okay, 6 months out or however many months out from an event, I'll kind of decide that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And whether it's, I don't know, whether it's some kind of big event, like a big Race to the Rock or like a
So this was
cross
just
is-
kind of like a side thing that happened whilst you were prepping.
Yep.
That's it,
And I
that's it, I'm
had
out.
the new bike. I had no, it was also a little bit of
Life's not worth living anymore.
It was also like I had the nice bike ready, like the Roadie was all
Yep.
built and was running nicely, and I'm like,
Oh, this is
and,
fast.
And it was a little bit just okay, let's give it a crack. And also, like I think I said
I think what
corkscrew
he's
PB around
saying
the
is
same
that
time.
I need a nice new bike to go faster.
You need a
Absolutely.
new bike and you need to
Absolutely.
train for an alternate event.
Okay, all right.
Train
So-
long.
Like a long,
Train
train
long,
long to go
yeah.
fast short.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Rightio. Anyway,
And I'll show you, like that was it wasn't a great.
if you
day.
tell me it wasn't like a top effort,
No,
full
it wasn't. I was going hard, but it wasn't a great day in terms of like the condition. My Green Hill PB was like on the day. This what do you call it? Would be a westerly, 40k an hour westerly, hailing on the wheel of two faster people. I don't know what I got in the top. Whatever, 20, 100 or whatever. But it was a
wow.
solid effort.
Yeah.
And I've struggled to get anywhere near it because it was
The
we
tailwind
picked the day.
was-
We were looking at it. We
Yeah.
went, look at that
Today's
wind.
the day.
Let's go up
Perfect.
Green Hill Road.
Yeah.
So that was I'd say my Green Hill effort was much better, and that was when I was like, and I just stuck on these.
Norton's
2
hard.
days.
There's no perfect wind for Norton.
No, 'cause you come
It
back
goes back
into
because it goes
it.
back and forth on, and it kind of faces like that way to the hill. So
Yeah.
there's no real.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Righto, Mr. Fierro. Who is the top man and woman this week?
So it is the chunk.
The
Hang it-
chomp.
what?
Oh, whoa.
No, hang about.
Whoa.
I mean, you were just talking about your
The
your
real
comments.
chamois and the wang.
but see, I don't
We
think it
exclude
counts
those?
because it was being motor paced.
Oh, right. Okay. Filtered for motor pacing. Unlucky.
So-
You're out.
The chonk went up in a very extremely respectable 12.52. So we're talking
That's
about
his
13s.
PB. So he's
Oh.
he did a
Yeah, sorry.
14.44.
14.44.
Yeah.
Okay.
But a very
On a
respectable
100
PB.
on a 100k,
103K day.
ride.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
awesome.
319.
Congratulations, the chunk, for getting up
Chonk,
the
the
top.
top spot. It's good to see a new
I'm trying to
contender.
wonder, is the chonk? Does that mean they're going up on 35s or something? They're on gravel tires or something? Or are they?
It's really interesting to see the data.
I
as
don't
these
think our
people come and
names
go.
are that well put together as you were
I
piecing
shouldn't
it
read
together.
too
yeah.
much into it. All
No,
right.
no,
Frankie's
no.
usually in charge. So.
Yeah.
Names do not reflect
Okay, so that was
personal.
the top man.
What
And,
about the top lady?
The top woman was our old friend, young friend, Vegan Greens and Amphetamines.
Ah, congratulations.
In a
That's twice
time
in the
of
last few weeks.
1941 on a 75.
That new relationship must be doing wonders.
Just exciting.
Is it confirmed?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Until the Facebook status is updated, who knows?
It's not Facebook official yet.
So 75k ride, probably just the normal Lobby loop, right?
I would assume so.
Yeah. Still, like 173 beats per minute. I know, as I said, younger side, so the beats are
Yeah,
generally
I
up
still
there.
think that would be like pushing it.
Yeah, pushing a little
Yeah.
bit.
Frankie did in 1941 and be like 233 beats per minute.
It's like heart rate on Norton Summit could be like you're just pushing a heavy because there's no other data. I can't really we don't have cadence. So like, what if you're just pushing a heavy gear and just going slow and having a rough morning? So you can.
As an aside, I bought some power pedals recently
Ooh.
for a gravel bike, and I was so
Yeah.
tempted to put it on the big dummy today.
600 watts.
See what it takes. And I was like, but then I
Measure
So
it on time.
I have to
Just for the listeners, the dummy weighs how much?
The bike
Approximately?
itself is 25. You got to add a kid that weighs 35, and then maybe their school bag and my laptop bag and wet weather
And other
gear.
stuff.
Let's say
So you're
50
talking
plus.
50
60,
kilos.
70
Yeah.
kilos maybe today.
Wow.
So 70. Yeah, going up the summit with a 70 kilo bike.
Yeah.
That's
And
an
they're
effort.
Put the
and in
power
terms of
pedals
like
on.
if you think about a road, like any tire that you're going to put on is going to have a decent rolling resistance, like 10 to 20 watts. These are touring tires that are 2.5 inch wide.
Yeah.
I can see them
And so
from here.
they're not fast tires, and so it's an effort to get up there. And the annoying thing was, so I got my you get messages. My phone's sitting on the bars, as all Hubbards do, put their phone on the bars. And I can't the sweat is just dripping straight down onto my phone. So anytime a message, trying to change the song or whatever on the playlist, can't do it
'Cause you
Phone
need, like,
just
an
covered in
hour-long
sweat.
playlist.
Yeah.
What's that phone mount called? Quadlock? Not sponsored.
Quadlock, yeah, not sponsored,
yeah.
yeah.
But
Quadlock.
good
Send
mount.
us some money.
I got a new phone. I can't use it until the
The new one comes out.
Yeah.
But Mr. Fiora, take us through the men from the 18-minute bunch this week.
So geez, the names. So in the 18-minute flat, Panseer Dick Dick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Frankie's
back
favourite. Now,
again.
this is interesting. I queried this today because he's not a big human, but he
Okay.
did 394 watts for an 18-minute flat.
294.
Maybe that-
294 for 18 minutes.
Maybe that power meter's a bit off.
Yeah, maybe.
Overstating.
Also, there's actually, so we got 18 minutes flat again for Teenage Mutant Creamy Ninja Turtle Squad. So 304 watts.
Now, this is going to be
They're
like a
all-
giant giveaway, but I happen to be with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Dreamy Turtle Squirter today.
Good to see him back on the pod.
Yeah.
So, yeah, real good.
But what's interesting, if you look at his time versus the next one,
304 watts.
versus
Wow.
Similar.
I would have thought the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Creamy Turtle Squirter would have been pumping out a little bit less watts than
That's what
for an
I
18
thought.
Maybe
minute.
the wind.
So-
maybe
wind
poor
factor?
rolling resistance on their tyres.
I reckon just poor
it's funny
pedaling
you say,
technique.
because we tried some new wheels on his bike today.
Yeah, I saw there's
And
303s
by
on
the
there.
time we got to Lobethal, the back wheel wouldn't turn anymore because the disc, the caliper was like stuck.
Oh, no.
If that's not a classic
undo-
stitch up,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Reset it. Oh wow! So one more at 18 flat is Carolina Reaper.
Yeah,
Again,
Bernie McBurn
right
face.
around 22. Oh, actually less. 249.
Did you guys all ride
watts.
together?
Maybe.
Maybe. It looks suspect.
And that, okay, and it's similar 72 kilometers.
Yeah.
Okay. Slow stream at 1804. Okay, so we're basically into the no data section here.
Yeah,
So
no
people had
data.
no data.
People have just gone out, cruised.
Sloader streams are new to
pace
the
themselves.
podcast.
Sloader is
and
new.
only a very short ride of 34 Ks.
And
Yeah.
another one, just a second slow at 1805, is fertilized by Specialized. Congratulations to Specialized.
I don't know what that means, but
I was gonna say,
makes an SL8.
I just get the images of like using specialized tire
Fertilizer.
sealant, and then it's someone getting a puncture behind you, and you're like, "Yep, you just fertilized by Specialized."
So like Specialized bought Will Ride in the last week or so.
They did,
took over
the e-bike.
store. So because Specialized has been huge in e-mountain bikes.
Yes,
and
they are.
some
They make a pretty
gravel and
wild
road.
e-mountain
so
bike.
they're gonna. I don't know. The only thing I worry about is whether the cargo bikes and all the commuter bikes are gonna get kicked out of there.
Specialized out. Well, I don't know, because they've got a very limited range of any of that kind of stuff. So
Anyway, so that's good.
That's
nice.
yeah, that's awesome.
Joshy.
Well done for the men's. So
The top 5 women overall after our fastest this week.
this is the top 5 women this week.
Yep.
Awesome.
Excluding vegan greens and amphetamines.
Who smashed it. Coming in with a 2028 on 124k ride is the Bushwhacker.
Now, the Bushwhacker.
Tell me about it.
124 Ks. This was yesterday in that rain.
Ooh, yuck.
Yuck.
Yuck indeed. Wow, that was a top effort. 204 watts, 166 beats per minute. Fantastic effort there. Next up with a 100k ride and a 22 minute and 1 second effort was the Big Squid.
Big Squid.
Not far off their PB, 1840. Yeah. I wonder if they can actually beat that by the end of the year.
Hope so.
Challenge, Big Squid. Challenge. Next up with a 22.15
Same as me.
is SpongeBob No Pants. What, you got no pants on?
Well, you can't see below the table.
We were always sitting
You have not
with that
moved.
smiling face.
47k ride, 205 watt average.
Yeah.
So that's nice. I'd love to see those watts for myself going up the summit. I think they're pushing probably 400.
Now, a little bit further down the list this week.
Oh, yeah, a little bit further down with a 22.15, 57k ride is the Wahooligan. But look at those beats per minute
know,
for the heart rate.
barely
Taking
even trying.
it easy,
Yeah.
cruisy.
Bird watching.
Would be
just
having
few
a
pictures
chit
on the
chat, a
way.
few Instagram uploads for the story. Yeah, love it. And last but not least, with a 22.20 is Kevin 07. 64k ride, 201 watts. And that is the ladies for this week. Now, Alex, you've got a hand picked for
my
us.
hand pick happens to be standing next to us this week.
Standing?
Because sitting, sorry. He's got no pants on.
Can we pause for a second and I can take a piss and then talk about that?
We can. All right, now we're back. We're back.
We had the intermission.
Fiero's relieved
He has,
himself. So
relieved himself. Yep.
all happens on the podcast.
All right, Mr. Fiero, tell us about your Northern Summit roll today.
I'm pretty sure it's the slowest time of the day. I don't know if maybe the slowest of the week.
Strava?
What
It's on Strava.
what did you get?
35. Yeah, I've added it to the run sheet. It was over 35 minutes. 35, 25.
No seat post though.
Not the slowest,
Not ever.
ever, because
No, not ever. Would
That's
you
impressive.
believe-
Does that mean that that's young Fiero Spritz's PB? Would that be his
I don't
PB?
know what his PB is. He's been up on his bike before. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, he was on the back of the big
Yeah,
dummy.
he's
Right.
big dummy.
Okay.
Not pedaling.
Yeah.
This
No.
is no
Okay.
effort.
No, he can't claim that PB. then.
Yeah. But okay. So
guess
this-
what?
what?
Not the
Not the
slowest
slowest
time
time.
of the week.
Oh wow.
So you did a 35.25,
Yeah.
but someone did a 43.06.
So they may have stopped. They may have got a punch or whatever. I mean, I was
No wheels, no
continuing.
seat post.
But one thing I will say is that I was getting there was I was really alarmed. It was actually the number of runners that were out there going up
Going
and down.
past you.
Really?
Like
Wow.
it's actually coming down the other way. I think I saw 3.
They must have
coming
listened to
down.
the podcast
I
the other
know.
week. I said,
But definitely lots of people passing me.
Yeah.
Going up. So everyone from just
everyone's saying hello though and amazed, just like in awe.
Yeah, and they're like, cool, yeah, well,
Yeah.
well done. And like Lantern Rouge guy, and then
Yeah.
people in like obviously training and flying past.
Did you have the speaker going?
Yeah,
Little
yeah,
young
we had-
Fiero playing the
Yeah,
speaker.
yeah, we had the music. See, I think it was, I don't know, it was maybe, it was 4 weeks ago, we had like Colossus fly past. He's like, "Yoo."
Yeah, he can still talk while he's mid-effort.
He was on a TG bike, but no, today was just pretty consistent. But one thing I did, there was a light up in the distance. So as you know, you're doing the last big switchback.
Yeah.
You see someone, and then I'm thinking, I reckon I might be able to catch that. And I did. I caught him right on at the gum tree.
Oh wow.
So he was absolutely just chill.
Yeah,
just in the zone. He's just spinning along.
You got him.
He
got him, though.
It's always a race, right?
It's always a race.
That's what you said.
So yeah, I caught him and he just gave me the thumbs up. Yeah, mate, good.
So,
going.
and then you just, oh boy.
And then I got it.
Yeah.
But as I said, it's I'm just in jeans and a t-shirt, just drenched in sweat.
So good.
Not
that's
my,
awesome.
Like volleys, not
Well,
clipped in or anything.
I'm glad that
The
you can go
worst.
faster than the slowest person
Yeah,
this week
yeah.
on
It's
70
close though,
kilo.
right?
It's
It's
close. It's close.
About 8 minutes in it, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, it'd be
8
interesting
minutes.
to see if what a proper threshold effort in terms of like power and heart rate, how much
Put those
slower-
pedals on and
Put
get
the
it
power-
going.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Power pedals,
Yep.
heart rate monitor, attach the Garmin, and away we go.
Yeah.
Make
At
it
the
happen.
moment, this was just recorded on my phone, so there's no data.
It's the butt dyno, we call it.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, tell us what's happening in the week of cycling ahead in Adelaide, Mr.
Yeah.
Fierro, because
Okay,
you've got some
but
cool stuff to
there's
add
a few
to
things.
this.
So there's the racing, Adelaide Hills, Sunday 25th, Forest and Road
Now,
race.
for anyone listening, magpies are fucking psychos out there.
So this is the classic Gamaraka course
the
out the back
Forest
of
and
Forest
Road
in there.
race.
It's
Yep.
one of my favourite courses. Bit of something in there for everyone. It's
Yeah.
not much of a hill climb up Martins Hill Road there, and then some nice long
I'm
undulating sections,
I was going to race that
and then
race,
Forest
but
and
the
Road.
magpies can piss off.
Yeah, no, they're going to be out. It's going to be vicious. Tell you what. So
Same day, is it the Adelaide Masters? Cycling
Yes,
Club?
yeah,
The
Club Road
Road
Champs.
Race Champs.
I'm assuming that's out at Outer Harbour. It's where they always do all their
With
racing.
their
So
separate license
yeah.
and separate dollars
yeah.
and blah, blah, blah. Come on, guys, get with the
I did
times.
one of those races years ago.
Yeah.
Adelaide Mountain Bike Club, same day, 2022 State XCO Championships. I've noticed a few people recceing the course. So there's a Strava segment for the course.
Yep.
and there's
Where is the
20
course this year? What?
Eagle.
At Eagle Mountain Bike
There's
Park. Yep.
there's 20-something people on that segment. So
Yeah.
20-something people went out.
That's
It was
okay.
slightly changed from previous years.
Just
so
if
they're
the
out.
course is wet, don't chop it up. You know,
Yeah.
make sure it's good for everyone.
I was cycling Tuesday, Wednesday,
Just the
Thursday.
usual
Super dry.
stuff. Yep.
Stay dry. Stay warm.
dry.
Yeah.
Go fast.
Rubber side down, the Superdrome. Teacher Gully BMX Club 40th anniversary racing.
40
at the Teacher
years.
Gully
What
What
course.
were you doing 40 years ago?
I wasn't alive. Wasn't even thought of.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Yeah, cool. All right, don't
I was
answer
a
that question.
twinkle. So, and then outside of racing, we've got a few other interesting events. So next Sunday is Critical Mass. So it's this kind of, on one end you might call it a protest, but I like to think of it as just an event to normalise kids on bikes in the community.
Awesome.
Whether
cool.
that's kids on the back of a cargo bike, on the front of a cargo bike, or kids riding themselves. Starts 10 a.m. next Sunday in Benarthen Park.
Awesome.
You want to register, so at least they have.
And where do they
I
register?
know.
I think Google Critical Mass.
Google
Adelaide.
in Critical Mass.
It
Yep.
sort of evolved. If you think around the world, critical mass events have been the similar thing of just getting people on bikes visible in the community. They've been running for years, and now this is sort of a spin-off to say critical mass, where you get the kids involved, and it shows them that cycling can be a normal way to get around on bikes, and
Almost
you
a
don't-
better way.
Yeah, better way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to get in the car. So it is supported by SAPOL. So
Awesome. They'll be there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, you're going to be getting more than two abreast. Like this is going to be a big group of people rolling through the
Sweet.
streets and making a bit of noise and being
Lots of
visible.
half wheeling by the
Absolutely.
kids and
of
wheel
long
chops.
bikes.
Lots of chopping.
Like, it's sort of similar. Like I've been involved a couple of times in the mandatory helmet law protest ride.
No brainer. Yeah.
Which again have been supported by SAPOL. So it's a really interesting kind of feeling to be riding through the streets of the CBD.
With a police
Like,
escort almost.
Holding the cop's wheel on his like covered, so he's got the tote bag bag on the back, and you got no helmet, and you're like taking.
Yeah.
The only thing I did get told off was for taking selfies. The guy's like, leave your phone on. So that's next Sunday. The weekend after, so we're stretching a little bit into the future, is the Canoe Rally. So this is an event
It has
organised-
nothing to do with cars.
No.
Canoe, being an indigenous name for, I think it's the seasons or mountain, because it used to be Cudlilla, which was, so it's an ultra endurance backing event. Previous edition was in the middle of winter. Turned out that's a really terrible idea.
Like, because winter's not going away anyway.
Yep. So now they've moved. Now the organizer has moved it to later in the year. It goes from Adelaide out to Port Augusta. There's two options. There's a shorter option, shorter being 700 kilometres, longer being a bit over 1,000. So it's organised by one of the riders in Mood Racing, which are kind of one of those Mood. I don't know, you call it like a kind of just eclectic mix of riders that'll kind of
Yeah,
do
and
everything.
comments.
A racing team,
They'll
a team for everyone.
Yeah,
but
they'll
not
race
just
in
racing.
CX, Super Series, and obviously running these kind of events. And
Big mood
gravel
for all
rides.
things bikes,
Absolutely, yeah.
and community.
Even some of their sunset rides up the summit
Up
to
the summit
scenic,
to the scenic to
the
have
scenic,
hot chips.
are some of the best rides around, honestly. So,
Yeah, super chill.
so-
And canoe, for those listening at home, is Ghana translation for mountains.
Seeing
the route traverse a large portion of the Flinders
So
Ranges.
I think, so my plan, as long as it's not forecast for torrential rain, because some of those, like last year's one,
That red
was,
mud
was terrible, and I've done my fair share of torrential, like I've peanut butter mud, so I don't want to do it again. That's my plan is to do the short version because I've got a family holiday planned for next week, so I'm going to see if I can smash out.
So that lines up for the start of school holidays or that long weekend.
Yeah, the long weekend basically. If you just smash out 700 kilometres across the long weekend and then
good way to
catch
start
the
it.
bus back from Port Augusta. So
brilliant.
Love it.
so that's my plan.
Then you got a bit of a bonus
Rally.
mention
I think
as
you just
well.
follow at Kanu Rally on Instagram to find out more details of that. And the other one is a few more weeks away is the Big Bike Film Night on Wednesday the 26th of October at Wallace Mitcham. That's been running for quite a few years now. I think I've been to most of them. It's like a short film festival. All the films are cycling related.
Yep.
They're often quite inspirational, like in terms of seeing people get out and travel to awesome places, just do awesome things. Like there was one around up in like Scandinavia where they were having these backpacks that were actually kayaks, and they just fold out these kayaks
and then go across the river.
like and just so
that's epic.
Amazing stuff.
And can buy tickets from Wallace, I'm assuming, on the website, or is there a Facebook
for
group?
Big Bike Film Night. So I've volunteered to be on the door. So if you come, you can free
high fives.
I will check your ticket at the door for the Big Bike Film Night. So yeah, it's just one of those things I look forward to every year because it's just it kind of makes me feel good to see people getting out, adventuring, doing cool things on bikes, and it's a really considered. Like curated bunch of films that they get together every year or so, and I reckon I wonder if it even survived the pandemic in terms of done every year now. It might be the
could have,
fifth year. It's really cool. So yeah, Wallace on the 26th. So look for the Big Bike Film Night. There's events on Facebook and stuff. You can buy tickets. It's about $20-something to buy a ticket. But yeah, you see like a handful. It's not just like one or two. It's a good 6 or 8 films for the
so you get your money's worth.
Different lengths.
Yeah,
different lengths. Good. It's a fun event. So recommend
awesome.
that for anyone.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe next time there'll be a summit film.
Black and white.
Sponsored by Summit Film Productions.
Look, speaking of events, unfortunately, most people will be aware Queen Elizabeth passed away.
She did, unfortunately. It's all I've watched on TV this week.
However,
headline on the front page of the paper
we have a public holiday to celebrate that day or
commemorate,
whatever you like. Yeah. And myself and a bunch of others, we're actually doing a massive day on the bike and heading out to Victor and back.
Sounds crazy.
So any listeners that want to come along, hit me up through the socials. It will probably be a 6 or 7 a.m. start at the bottom of the freeway. Out to Victor, back.
It's like a Krusty's ride on it.
It's pretty much like that. Yeah, Queen's Krusty's ride, we'll call it almost. So if you're keen, hit me up.
Excellent. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone in between, if you've enjoyed yourself, why don't you give us a follow through your favorite podcast app or access all our episodes through YouTube as well. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Ding! And don't forget to tell all your friends and share it with everyone.
Speaking of sharing it with everyone, my mum played it to my grandma.
How'd she?
She rang me and she goes, I don't understand these jokes, but you guys are all laughing, so I'm laughing too.
Hey. Thanks, Grandma.
Thanks, Grandma. Anyway, we're all over the socials. We give you updates, info, and let you know when new episodes are out, along with other podcast news and information. And if you want to support the podcast, head to our Buy Me a Coffee page. And if you donate, we'll give you a shout out on the podcast the following week.
So the RADelaide Summit team would love your feedback and to know your thoughts. So hit them up, have a chat through Facebook, Instagram. Instagram is always a lot of fun on that.
It is. Oh, it's like bipolar.
Who knows who's talking to you?
Because everyone responds.
But the funny thing is, we will be sending messages trying to talk to Frankie, and then all of a sudden she just appears in the Instagram chat, causes some ruckus,
wild
and
Frankie
pisses
appeared.
off again.
Those selfies.
Oh, yeah.
But I think the maybe more
traditional.
Yeah, to just email RADeladeSummit@gmail.com, and that might be a little bit more formal.
Cordial. And with that, we'll catch you out on the summit this week.
See ya.
Catch you later.